Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw. Welcome, everybody. We've got a very special interview tonight. Stand Up Bainbridge, Georgia, call to action. We're going to be discussing monkeys and our not liking of monkeys. We first got on this story. Do what?
I said we like monkeys. We just don't like. What's happening here with monkeys.
Right. This story, we first got onto this story here a while back. Me and Dave were joking, and we've always joked with each other. And I told him we farm everything down here in South Georgia, including monkeys. And he had this look on his face. What are you talking about? I said, yeah, we're going to start farming monkeys here in Georgia. You just read it on his face. But we found out that it's a real thing, and then we got to looking into it some more. And let's make a long story short. We've got Miss Elise Greenboyd. She's going to be coming up on stage here in just a second, and we're going to discuss this. This is a call to action. We're not for the monkey farm. We're just saying, but this is their side, and let's bring her right up, Dave. Hey, Miss Elise, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, guys, I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. We're just hanging out and being pretty.
I love it.
We appreciate you being here. We've had a lot of discussion about this over the last, I guess, about a month or more. And like Robert said, it kind of started out as a joke. I thought he was like pulling my leg. And he pulls up the article and he puts it on the screen. I said, okay, it's a real deal, but didn't really know how real it was or even what it meant. I mean, I didn't even understand because I was just reading the headline. I didn't really understand what that meant. What does it mean? Thousands of monkeys. What are they there for? Why are they there? What are they being used for? And so that's kind of where this come. And so as we really got into it and started learning more about it, we said, this Robert lives close by. Mm-hmm. And we just started, we just got more and more into it and wanted to get in touch with somebody that was connected to it and could kind of give us more information and our listeners, because we've shared this a lot. And we appreciate you being here. So we wanted to give you a platform to tell about, what it is and how this came to be and where we're at right now, and kind of bring us up to where we're at and some meetings are going to be happening. And thanks so much for being here. So take it away.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, y'all, for asking me to be here tonight. I really appreciate it, because the more that we can get the word out about what's going on in Decatur County and Bainbridge, the more people that we can reach about the monkey facility, the better. So where should I start?
At the beginning.
Okay. At the beginning. So we found out in January of 2024 I found out that there was a town meeting. It was on January 2nd, 2024. And PETA had released some information that a company called Safer Human Medicine was going to be building a 30,000 capacity monkey breeding, Reese's macaque monkey breeding facility in Bainbridge. And I personally do not live in Bainbridge. I live in Tallahassee, but I am very active in Bainbridge. I, with a partner, own 2 buildings in downtown Bainbridge. And I fell in love with Bainbridge in 2023. And so, of course, I attended this meeting. And what we found out was that behind closed doors, the Development Authority, the County Commission, and the City Council, as well as the School Board and the Tax Assessors Board, had all held meetings throughout the fall, and they had signed contracts with Safer Human Medicine to bring this monkey breeding facility to Bainbridge. And they had given them I do not remember if it's $56 million or $58 million in tax abatements over 20 years, as well as a $300 million bond. And this was all done. I do believe that there was some public notice for a few meetings, but my understanding is that the majority of meetings that took place were not properly, the public was not properly notified. So thank goodness for PETA for blowing the whistle on this. And so we had this meeting, and we find out that all of this has gone on without the residents knowing. And people obviously were pretty much up in arms, because this 2,000 acres that they cleared for the monkey facility is adjacent to several people's houses, like Johnny and Penny Reynolds. Their house backs up to it. And Donna Barber, her house is right there. There are a lot of people whose houses are right in that area. And, they bought these houses, this property. These are long time Bainbridge residents. And they bought these houses, 40, 50 years ago, and we're not planning to move. So this is brought to our attention. And what we found out moving on down the line through the months is that first, that the men from Safer Human Medicine, before I go there, let me say that this monkey breeding facility, what their plan is to bring in, obviously, monkeys and breed them up to a capacity of 30,000. And those monkeys then will be sold to research facilities, such as universities, et cetera, and used for medical testing. And it's my understanding that there's also a clause in this contract that they can do research at that facility if need be on down the line. So I also found out that monkey research, animal research is being phased out because of artificial intelligence. And now they have something called organ on a chip. And, it's wild what technology does now. But they can, I'm not a scientist, but they can grow tissue on chips and then test the human tissue, which is actually a better test than testing it on non-human primates. And obviously it alleviates, any animal abuse. So 30,000 monkeys at this facility, that's the plan. With people's houses right next to it. And what I also found out, what we found out from PETA, is that these monkeys carry herpes B, and it's not fatal to monkeys, but it is 100% fatal to human beings. And it's spread through saliva, feces, and urine. And where does all that stuff go? Well, it goes into the wastewater.
Yeah. And we're talking about 30,000 monkeys. How much they are saying here, what I'm looking at says 444,000 gallons of wastewater a day.
That is directly from the mouth of the CEO of Safer Human Medicine. We did not make up that number. And that also, to put it into perspective, that's the size of an Olympic swimming pool, and they'd be producing that much wastewater per day. Now, I have to say, I'm going to kind of go on a little sidebar here, because these same men who are heading up Safer Human Medicine, I know one of them was the COO of either Envigo or Charles River Laboratories. I think it's Envigo. That was the beagle breeding facility in Charlottesville, Virginia, that was shut down by the DOJ in 2022. And they were just fined in June. They were just fined $35 million in June for violating animal welfare laws, as well as the Clean Water Act. So if you follow me, the guy who was leading the beagle breeding facility, they were faulted. They were fined for dumping 600,000 gallons of wastewater into a creek. That same guy is coming to Bainbridge. They're going to be producing 444,000 gallons of wastewater per day. They are less than 2,000 feet from the Flint River. Where do you think that wastewater is going to go?
Right into Lake Seminole.
And into Apalachicola, into Apalachicola River, and into the Gulf of Mexico. So this can be a disaster health-wise. And I'm sorry, didn't we learn anything from COVID? You know, I mean, really. So this is, it's a threat to our health. It's a threat to our environment. It is those poor monkeys. When we have other ways of testing, and guess what? The FDA, as of, I'd have to look it up, but recently, 2022, 2023, they no longer require animal testing for medication approval.
Right. So what is even the point of this?
So what? Yeah. Why is this going on? So this was all done in the residents' opinion, in my opinion, under the cover of darkness. And, you know, they were given all of these, Safer Human Medicine was given all of these tax incentives, tax abatements, and the residents feel like they were cheated, that they were cheated, for lack of a better word, not represented well, and they feel like they're in danger, and I do too. I mean,
look, I was born and raised right here in South Georgia, just up the road from Bainbridge. I mean, it's 30 minutes from here. We go to Bainbridge all the time. But I do have a true love of seafood. And I know where the Apalachicola River runs. It runs right down to Apalachicola Bay.
Sure
and I don't want my oysters messed up.
No. I know. Again, it's right. Yeah. No. And again, it's right, because now the oyster business is thriving, you know, finally again. And yeah.
Yeah.
So how did, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So you heard about it coming. The meetings may not have been properly announced, and so how did the resistance to this? How did that get going? How did this, and how soon after that you've heard about this? What's the time frame that this movement began to take shape and start to attend meetings or rallies, or kind of give us a sense of that? Because now you've heard about it, you don't like what you're hearing, and several people are involved, and y'all done great. I mean, there's a lot of people that's rallied to this. So kind of give us a sense of that, and then we'll kind of go to where we're at today. But how did that really get off the ground and begin to resist against this facility?
Okay, thanks for asking that. So like I said, we were notified on January 2nd. We had our first meeting January 7th. And PETA, I believe there was someone there from PETA. And I have never really aligned with PETA because I eat meat. And I mean, in my head, this is what I was thinking, I'm like, I eat meat. I wear leather and, that kind of thing. And at this point, I literally thank God for PETA, because they have been so wonderful. They helped us. They came in. They said, first off, we're not, well, let me back up. So we heard from some of the city leaders that PETA is after your cows and chickens. And, with Bainbridge being a large farming community, that's pretty scary to a lot of people. And, Lisa Engel Jones, who is the primate specialist for PETA, she said, "We are not after your cows and chickens and pigs. We're out to stop the monkeys. That's it. We want to help y'all. We are not going to do anything other than try to stop the monkeys." So we had our first meeting, I believe it was January 7th, 5 days after we found out. And then we had, let's see, I know that I spoke at the county commission meeting in February. I think it was around February 12th or 13th. And at that meeting, the county commissioners voted to rescind their positive vote. They said, no, we're no longer for it. And we thought, wow, that's a huge victory. And it was, but it's not over. Here it is. What is this, September? And we're still fighting it. It's not over just because, some of the counties said, no, they don't agree with it now.
So Safe Human Medicine is really pushing also to get this facility built.
They're pushing hard.
They're pushing hard. They've actually gone to court, haven't they?
Yes, they have. So what happened was the county commission and the city council and the development authority, industrial development authority, all said, oh, we made a mistake. We don't want Safer Human Medicine here now. So Safer Human Medicine in February filed a lawsuit against the development authority for breach of contract. And that is caught up in litigation right now, as is, let's see, some of the residents filed a lawsuit against, and I'm not on that lawsuit, but some of the residents filed who live along the Flint River, especially, they filed a lawsuit against the county, everybody else but the development authority. And so now they filed that lawsuit for violating the Open Meetings Act in Georgia. Good. So that also is caught up in litigation. Then the district attorney, Joe Mulholland, he's the one who validated the bond, the $300 million bond for Safer Human Medicine. He appeared before the Atlanta Appellate Court. I don't know what the real name is, but it's the appellate court in Atlanta. He appeared before them. It was in June. And I watched part of that. So what I saw with my own eyes and what I heard him say was that his decision was based on fraudulent information that he was given. So he's trying to have the bond reversed and declared null and void. However, Safer Human Medicine said they're still coming. They don't care. They don't care if we don't want them. They don't care if their bond gets unvalidated. They're coming, come hell or high water.
Wow.
Now have they already cleared the land? I think I saw a picture of some of the land that was cleared. Is that true that some of the land has already been cleared for it, or maybe all of it?
Yes, they did. They cleared the 2,000 acres, I believe, in December. What's really interesting with that is they did not get a permit to do that. And they also received fines from the EPA for doing it. My understanding is that the fines were for doing it without the permits. And there were also some endangered species, some kind of gopher tortoise. I can't remember what else.
Yeah, gopher is very,
yeah. And they had dens, I guess, whatever turtles have on that 2,000 acres. So yeah, they cleared it. They had to come in, pay some fines, and put up silt fences and some other things.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't you just say that the bonds and stuff were done in January and they were clearing the land in December? So they started doing it before the deal was even done. Wow.
That's what it seems to me. Okay. I want to say I am not an attorney, and it smells really fishy.
Yeah.
And that's what we read in some of the things that we were sent about that. And of course, again, there's legal issues going on here and different lawsuits. It's a lot of
Yeah.
money too. I mean, it's a massive amount of money. I'm amazed. I'm sitting here hearing these numbers thrown around. It's a massive amount of money we were talking about, even if
Yeah.
it's, over 20 or 30 years. Well, that's still a lot of money for a town that size. This is amazing,
It
the
is.
amount of money that's being thrown around for this. So, um, and so what activities have, obviously there's legalities, but you're still continuing to push forward to get the word out. So what kinds of things are you all doing in and around the region area? Because I know you're active, and let's talk about that for a minute. Some of the things that you're doing to continue to get public, support against this.
Okay. Yes. So we've held several town meetings. We held one in Bainbridge. We held one down at Lake Seminole as well, and then we've got one coming up next week in Donaldsonville. And that if anyone missed the other meetings, please come to the one in Donaldsonville on Thursday, September 19th. And it's at 6:30. And Robert, where is it going to be held?
It's at the Osceola Hotel. Yeah.
Right.
Come on. You can meet me and Miss Elise there in person.
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
Yes.
And that's, Donaldsonville is pretty centralized to Colquitt, to Bainbridge, Blakely. People live down on Lake Seminole. This is fairly local to everybody. Come to this meeting. It's important. It's at 6:30 at the Osceola Hotel in Donaldsonville on the 19th. So, get your information firsthand.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for that plug. So we had a postcard writing session. We sent over 500 postcards to the various politicians, Georgia politicians, Bishop and Ossoff. We received nothing back.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
This is the real kicker. No one will talk about it. No politician will talk about it. I am Southern. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and one of my dear friends is the U.S. Congressman from Tennessee, Tim Burchett, and he's a really good man. I grew up with him, and so I talked to Tim about it, and he's like, Lise, nobody will talk to me about it. He said, it's very odd that no one will talk about it. And I have my thoughts on that, but nothing has been substantiated. Sure. So I won't say what y'all can read between the lines.
Yeah.
Why, if you know why, and it may be just because of the deal they got, but why Bainbridge? Do you know the answer to that? Why that location? I thought it was an odd, nothing against Bainbridge. I love it. It's just, is it because of the deal they got? Is it because it's close to the area, the facilities they would, send the monkeys to? Do you know that? Why Bainbridge?
My understanding is that the guys from Safer Human Medicine met with Governor Kemp, and Governor Kemp gave them 5 different South Georgia locations to talk to the development authorities there. And these locations are rural and are primarily farming and animal husbandry. And so Safer Human Medicine came in saying, raising monkeys is animal husbandry, just like raising cows and chickens and pigs. And so that's one reason that they met with the development authority in Bainbridge, is because they're rural. Okay. I'll tell you what my thought is. And I said this at the county commission meeting back in February. And like I said, I'm Southern, so I can say it. I think they thought that we were a bunch of stupid Southern rednecks. I really do. I think they thought people were just dumb and that it was going to get done without anybody seeing it. And nobody would speak up about it. But you know what? They bit off way more than they can chew.
Yeah, you have
Well,
thousands of people mobilized through the efforts that you have through your Facebook and website.
Yeah.
And again, I know early on there were a lot of major news organizations that covered this. I saw some of the articles and saw some of the 3-letter networks that were covering this. I don't know if they've been involved of late, but early on there was a lot of articles written about this.
There were. USA Today did a spread, as well as I know Jesse Waters on Fox did something. Unfortunately, he made it a little bit humorous. And to those of us who are living this, it's not humorous at all. It's a real serious thing. And yeah, at first when you hear about it, it's like monkeys in Georgia. Are you kidding? We all laugh, but it's once you know all the facts and the concerns and the threats that it's going to make to health, community, environment, it really becomes a big deal. So
that's exactly how it happened for us. We just thought it was a funny story, but the more we kind of brought it up, the more we heard that we're like, oh, wait a minute, it's not a laughing matter.
I told David, I said, we farm everything here in South Georgia. We're even going to farm monkeys. And he said, huh? Yeah. But now that we've done our research and stuff, this is not something that we want to farm here in Georgia. We don't need it.
It's not. And, I really appreciate y'all doing this because we'd like to get more coverage. It's weird how none of the big networks, have really picked this up. And so I appreciate y'all helping to get the word out.
You're very welcome. Now, was it your group that also and Robert, and I told him, and I think I have found them. You remember you showed me the hat, Rob? I mean, the ball cap. I said, I want that hat.
The monkey hat so bad he can't stand it. Do y'all have
gosh, I should have worn mine for this. I've got one too.
Can we get those, please?
Yes.
I mean, we'll buy them. I just want to make sure we get a hat.
No. You'll get hats next week. How's that? I'll make sure.
That'll work. And I'm gonna keep both. I'm gonna wear one. I'm gonna put one right back here and make Dave jealous.
Okay. Dave will know that's his hat.
Yeah. Right. We were going to wear them on. We were going to wear them on the program and say we got our hats, and what's going on there. But it definitely grabs your attention. Your signage, the hats, the shirts, all that stuff. Stop the monkey business. I mean, it definitely gets your attention. So y'all have done a great job with generating that. And there's even a group, and hey, we prayed up here. There's a prayer group that goes on that's praying about this, and we believe in the power of prayer. And we prayed up here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm just going to share a little bit of just about a little something about me since you brought that up. So for years and years, I attended Bible study fellowship in South Florida. I had to do my penance and live down there for a while. Not really, but I really did live down there. But I used to pray, and my prayer request was always, please pray that the Lord will make me bold in my faith. And so God put the prayer group on my heart, and I'm the one who started the prayer group.
Oh, okay.
And because I don't take credit for it. I mean, it's God. God put that on my heart and said, Lise, you need to come at this from all angles, and prayer is the most important. So we first met in one of the buildings downtown that I own with a partner. We didn't have a tenant in there in the commercial space. So we met in there. And then the next time we met in the square. We've also met at Chasen Park. We've now moved back to the square. Our attendance has dropped off in person because it's been so blasted hot. and the gnats. The gnats are really bad in Bainbridge,
Oh,
but yeah.
we've had
So,
some conversations about them little critters on here.
Yeah.
oh, man. So we're hoping that, now that it's going to get hopefully a little bit cooler, people will start coming out again. We meet every Tuesday in the gazebo on the square at 5:30.
Awesome.
And we pray. It's not like we're praying just against the monkey facility. We're praying for the mayor, Edward Reynolds. We're praying for all of the city council, all of the county commission, all of the leaders of the community. We're praying for them. We're praying for the Lord's will and the Lord's protection as we move forward.
Amen.
And see, I didn't know y'all
Absolutely.
were doing that. I heard about one of the prayer things. And I was like, I wish I'd known ahead of time. We could have went. And because I can't drive, but my wife does. So we'll be happy. And we're going to try to make some of these prayer groups. And we're definitely going to be there on the 19th. But I would like to provide a little bit of perspective on the amount of monkeys that they're talking about breeding here. 30,000.
Yes.
Bainbridge doesn't have 15,000 people.
No.
So there's twice as many monkeys to be bred there than there are people living in the city. And
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the things that appealed to the Development Authority, or they've spoken about it. Rick McCaskill is the head of the Development Authority, and he has said, well, this project will bring 250 jobs. I believe that was the number. I believe it's 250. And that I guess he thought that looked great for, Bainbridge needs jobs. Bainbridge doesn't have the factories anymore, doesn't have the livelihood that they did before. So I know that, they were hungry to get companies in. However, what we found out is those 250 jobs, you don't need a GED for it. And they're mainly like vet tech jobs, and they're going to be cleaning up the monkey waste, which now we know you can die from. So who's gonna want to do that?
Yeah.
And wait a minute, how much did they put out of pocket with future taxes and bonds and stuff like that? What was that number again?
300,000, no, 300 million on the bond. And I believe it's 56 million in tax abatements.
Wow. And they're going to bring 250, but they're going to bring 250 jobs that nobody's going to want.
And they're going to produce all of this wastewater. And my understanding is that the sanitation facility cannot process that amount of wastewater.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So I go back
really
to
amazing.
To it ruining the Flint River. Yeah. So, the Flint River keepers are working very actively with us to try to stop this. Bainbridge received an award for one of the best downtowns in Georgia, one of the best small towns in Georgia. But guess what? The river keepers, it just came out that Bainbridge is also one of the Dirty Dozen now because of the Flint River. And that is in anticipation of this coming and us not being able to stop it.
Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah. Rob, let's put up some contact info for their group. I think you had prepared some stuff. And people may want to reach out and learn more. So there's information. They update their information a lot. I mean, there's really almost daily, if not daily, there's something going up about this. So folks, help them out if you can. Donate. Pray for them. Absolutely. Go there and learn more. Get you a hat. Get you a shirt. And go to some of these meetings they have. Rob will be on the ground there next week, and we'll be continuing to cover this and updating as we go. We thank you so much for being on, and it's almost like a bad dream.
Yeah.
We feel bad. We were joking, and then it was like, wait a minute, this is like a really big deal to a lot of people, and we're like, we need to learn more. We need to educate ourselves, and we appreciate you coming on and sharing some info about them, because the numbers, even though we've learned a lot in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, the numbers, I haven't heard those numbers, and it's just
Yeah.
incredible to hear that. And so there's a lot on the line here, and and it's just have to see how this goes. But it's really sad. It's really sad. It's amazing. I'm kind of like you. I heard Peter was there, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
again, I'm not for animal abuse or anything like that, but I
No.
eat meat, and but I'm glad that they were there to help and assist and get the word out. And
Yes.
we wish you well, and
Thank
we're
you.
going to feel
Anytime
free
you
to
want
come
to.
back at any
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Anytime.
thanks, y'all. And
You
and
have
I want to reiterate that we would not be where we are fighting this without PETA. And
Sure.
we are
Yeah.
so thankful. And can call these two women who are high up in PETA my friends now. And I mean, I am just grateful to God that he brought them to Bainbridge for us.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well, I
That's
think
all.
I think it's something like this. It just goes to show that we as Americans, we may disagree about a lot of things, but we can come together for common causes. And it's our right to feel differently about a lot of different things as Americans. But when there is a cause that affects all of us, then we can come together and we can shake hands. And it should be a message to our politicians to do the same thing, that we can come together for the common good of. It's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to work. What's best for the people, what's best for our area, our city, or whatever. And it's disheartening to hear that you haven't been contacted back. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
that you have not, by certain politicians, and if they hear this in some way, we challenge you to get in touch. And you know uh, you can't hide. You got to say how you stand on something. You,
Yep.
you can't
Yeah.
straddle the fence. My daddy said that you're going to have to take a side, and you're going to let that be known how you stand as a politician. And I would say, just know this: that's votes. There's a lot of people would consider how they vote depending on how this goes. So people in the city, people on the state level, they better watch themselves, because there's a lot of people that are upset. That's thousands of people, and it's growing all the time, that are not happy about this. So thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it so very much. Rob, you got anything else?
Well, I was going to comment on that fence straddling thing. My granddaddy always told me. Now, we are Southern here. My granddaddy always told me that straddling a fence was the most uncomfortable place in the world to be, because most of them had a strand of barbed wire that ran right across the top. So
That's
tell
That's
you
right.
right.
something.
Yeah, that's right.
Amen to
So,
that.
well, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Miss Elise?
No, I don't, but I sure do thank y'all so much for having me on tonight. And
You're
thank you
more
for your help.
you're
Yeah,
more
and
than
I'll
welcome.
just say, next week, Rob, if you can try, I'd love to get some others that would maybe do some short, just little quick interviews on the phone or something, and we'll
Oh,
share those too. And
I've
you
already
got a
hoodwinked
plan.
my wife into running the camera.
All right, good, good. We're
Okay,
going to try
good.
to get some stuff that we can share with this. And again, when you see this is going up as soon as we can close it out and get it put back up, and we'll start sharing it out. And when folks see this, share it out. That's the power we have. Share the information out, send it out into all those streams. I mean, we're going to load it on everything we have, and try to get people connected to it and make their feelings known about it. But again, thank you so much. We're blessed and honored, and we're glad to be a help in some way.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'm going to kind of kick this thing off down here. If you would hang around just a minute before you take off, uh, I got to find the thing that I'm looking for here. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. Okay, we've got this. We thank y'all
Y'all
for
crack
watching,
me up.
and yeah, we thank everybody for watching, and we'll see y'all again soon. Come see us on the 19th in Dawsonville at the Osceola Motel at 6:30 p.m. Love y'all and God bless.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.